Hello, crypto world. Welcome to the Chart Historian. My name is Justin, and on this channel, I delve deep into crypto charts, exploring chart structures, fractals, and patterns. So in this video, I have the XRP chart open, and I'd like to discuss what is taking place and what is coming down the pike. So as you can see, I'm zoomed out quite a bit here. I'd like to put on the macro structure. So this is a repetitive macro structure for those of you who are new. For those of you who follow this channel, you're probably very familiar with this. So just real quick, XRP has its bull runs. We see that here. We see another bull run over here. We see another one over here. It also has its declines here. We see one here. We see one here. And in between the decline and the next bull run is this sideways range-bound time. We see that over here, and we are currently working through it over here. So I divide this sideways range-bound time into three fractals. So fractal 1, for instance, has its move up, which is part A, and move back down. That's part A right there. And then part B is where it goes flat. We see that over here with its move up and move down in part A, and then part B where it goes flat. In fractal 2, we have the three waves, wave A, wave B, and wave C. We see that over here, wave A, wave B, and wave C. In fractal 3, price moves up to a peak, it then crashes, it then recovers, and then does a correction right here before moving into the bull run. Now, these fractals have played out many times in the past, and every time they play out, they look a little different, they look unique. So for instance, this fractal 3 is different from this fractal 3. However, this fractal 3 and this fractal 3, they're different, but they're more similar. And that's because recent history tends to repeat as opposed to something from its distant past, although it is the same thing repeating, the same idea of price moving up to a peak. Over here, it kind of went more rounded up to a peak versus more flat and then shooting up. It then crashes and then it recovers. It does the same idea, just the expression of it is different. And that's because the timing, height, and depth are unique whenever a fractal repeats. So we've completed this part right here. We've completed this move up right here. We've completed the decline right here, and we are now working on this sideways range-bound time. I'd like to copy this fractal over here so we can compare what it looks like and what we have left in this fractal. Okay, so here is the dividing line between fractal 2 and fractal 3. And there are two different fractals. It's actually the same fractal. So let me explain what this is. So this is the fractal that I just basically copy and pasted from over there. Now this fractal, it's the same fractal, but I've adjusted it to today's timing, height, and depth. Now why have I done that? Well, I do that so I can track where we are within this fractal. So for instance, we have completed that move up, which was this, that declining part right here, which is this. And notice how today's move up was much higher than in this one, and the decline was steeper. Well, that is due to the timing, height, and depth being unique every single time a fractal repeats. We are now working on this part of the fractal. So we've completed these two bounces, which would be this bounce and this bounce. So we have this portion left to go before price begins to move up. This move up here is essentially this right here. So if things continue to play out like this, so far it's been a very good match. Now sometimes there could be deviations that take place on today's chart, which can be different from what the original fractal did, even though when they take place, like for instance here, the fractal did not call for such a steep move down, but today's chart did. However, in the big picture, it's still doing what it should be doing. It was supposed to move down here at this point. It just went deeper than the fractal initially suggested it would. But once it completed that downward movement, it jumped right back into what it should be doing. So be prepared for something like that. There's another fractal that I've been using to track what is taking place on today's chart, and that is from XRP's more recent history. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So it is this fractal right here. It's actually part of the declining portion and then fractal 1. So if we were to take this fractal, copy and paste it over here and match it roughly to today's timing, height, and depth, it would look something like this. Now, as you can see, price just like went crazy here. It went so much higher, although it actually is, for the most part, a fairly close match. However, if we take this part and move it up here and zoom in a little closer, it's actually still following it. So we have completed this decline here. This bounce is this bounce. This bounce is this bounce right here. And the reason why I'm showing you this is the other fractal shows it moving back up and doing 2 other bounces, whereas this one shows it kind of just trending downward to a point before it begins to move its way back up again. Let me throw on the other fractal. So here you see what I'm talking about. It does the bounce, whereas this one doesn't. So this is a possibility. It may not do this bounce. It could theoretically just kind of do something like that before beginning its move up. We'll have to see how it plays out. It could also be a mix of the two. Either way, it is following the rough idea. This is a range right here we are in, and we will soon begin the move up. Now let's talk about this move up. This move up, folks, is one of the biggest fake outs that occurs on the XRP chart. This has played out many times, and it's going to deceive many people, including probably some big name good analysts. This move up has potential to actually go quite high. In fact, it has potential to go higher than I initially thought. There's another analyst out there who is predicting somewhere around $1.31, and someone pointed out how high he was thinking price could go, and I was like, that seems a little high. So then I took this fractal, here, let me show you what I did. Took this same fractal and adjusted it to roughly this height, and it goes up to $1.31. Now, I could adjust this a little more and it can go higher or lower, so don't bet the farm on this. And let me make this clear. I am not here to say that it's going to go to $1.31. Having said that, if you throw on a Fibonacci retracement and you start it at the previous bull run and bring it down to the trough, that is a possibility. I'm not going to deny it. So even though it has potential to move up quite a bit, it is still a fake out, folks. And this is what I want to start sounding the alarm on. You need to be prepared for this. I don't want you caught off guard, caught up in the moment, and thinking that the bull run has started only to see it do this and you weren't prepared for this. Look how high. If this did this and it stayed at this same ratio, which I'm not saying it will, this goes down to the lower 50s. So this is going to be a nasty, nasty fake out. But the good news is that we are actually near the bull run. Once this happens, price will hang out here for a little bit. It will begin to move up. It will do that correction and then move into the bull run. So once we're down here, it only goes up from here. But be prepared. Be prepared for this and be prepared for that. I'm warning you now, it's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of excitement in the XRP community. Do not get bamboozled by the excitement. Do not think it's going to go different. It will turn around and it will crumble. Speaking of the bull run, because after this, once that little correction takes place, that's when the bull run officially starts. I have created a comprehensive XRP bull run analysis, and I've uploaded it to my Patreon account. Now, this is a series of 5 videos. I deep dive into each of these structures that take place, and I go through every single XRP bull run that took place in XRP's history. The goal with this was to help you navigate the coming bull run and, more importantly, be able to knowledgeably set exit points to where you can sell when you should sell. It's very easy to hold on when you should be selling. I'd like to use that platform as a place to teach my type of technical analysis. So if you haven't joined, think about joining. Anyways, folks, here we are with the fractal. We are currently following on an hour time frame. I hope this has been helpful. This is not financial advice. If you found it helpful, it'd be much appreciated if you hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber and you like what you saw, think about hitting that subscribe button. I'll continue to follow this chart as it continues to progress. I'm so glad you caught this video. I hope you catch my next one. Have a great day, and bye for now.